Allahu, 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 Allah.
Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah. Amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. I have a question regarding delivering for companies like DoorDash. The food is almost every time haram. So am I getting sin for delivering this haram food? The same ruling on DoorDash would apply to the other food delivery services as well. What about delivering for other companies like Amazon? There is a possibility that you are delivering something haram there as well. When working for a delivery service such as DoorDash, Uber Eats, Amazon, etc., generally we do not know the contents of the order. It may be halal or it may be haram. Right? There is a leeway in these type of jobs, that because 100% we do not know what is the content, so it is okay. But if we are talking about taqwa, it is better to avoid it because there is a greater chance to be haram in it when you're delivering it. But if one knows that whatever I'm delivering, it is haram food or some haram item, then if it's possible to cancel, one should cancel. If a person knows that I'm going to be delivering something that is not permissible, without any major consequences. Otherwise, if that person doesn't have any control, that cannot do it, then should make istighfar and tawbah. And give some part of the charity for this purpose, just give it out for charity. On the other hand, if one is working for a restaurant and knows that this is 100% haram, a specific restaurant, you know that this is haram restaurant, there's nothing halal in it, then a person should leave the job. While you're doing that job, find another one. Right? This is how it is. And just make tawbah istighfar in the meantime. Find a job that is halal. And even if it's for delivery, many of times there are halal restaurants for they need people for delivery. So go and work there. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa alaikum assalam. Is it permissible to make istikhara in the following manner? So the manner is mentioned, how to make the istikhara. Will the istikhara be valid? Will a person be able to make it into consideration and act upon it if it's done in the following manner? The manner how it is: make wudu, read Bismillah 3 times, any durood 3 times, think about the matter, that guidance is needed and open up the Quran, and whatever the ayat are about, that is the answer of your istikhara. If it is permissible, what should be done in the case when there are both negative and positive ayat on the page? In reality, we have a misunderstanding of istikhara. Right? Istikhara is not an answer. We need to understand this. Some people think that we're going to make istikhara and right away something yes or no or something will happen and I will hear something or I will have a dream. It's nothing like that. Istikhara does not tell you what to do or what not to do. Right? There is no positive or negative to an istikhara. The reality of the istikhara is whatever matter, you should first of all look at the cons and the pros and the pros and cons into it. Number one. Number two, you should consult with your family members. You should consult with those who are your well-wishers. Let's say, for example, for a job, whether this is a right job for me or not. First, we have to look into these things, and then we should make istikhara. Istikhara is something that you make And Allah, if that matter is good for you, Allah makes it easy and it will be easily be done. But if it's not good for you, there might be some bumps, some obstacles in between. Right? This is what istikhara is. Number one. Number two is istikhara should be done according to the sunnah. The way that it is mentioned in the question, that's not any type of an istikhara. Istikhara, the way that is prescribed in the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that is the way to do istikhara. Other than we should not be looking to, because this is how bidat starts. Innovation starts in Islam. So the way the questionnaire asked the istikhara, that is not permissible. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa alaikum assalam. Is ghiba, backbiting, applicable to non-Muslims? For example, if someone is saying trash about so and so, you mention the name, I'm not going to mention the name, or a colleague at work, and you listen or make a comments about them, does that constitute ghiba? If it does, how can one politely not engage in it without offending the one making the comments? The ahadith that are pertaining to the prohibition of backbiting is general. We cannot backbite a non-Muslim. It is not permissible to backbite a non-Muslim as well. We have to understand this. Muslims and non-Muslims are equal in it. We cannot backbite, we cannot make riba for, right? And a person is accountable for every word that a person utters. And let's say, for example, you're not backbiting, but you're sitting in a gathering, someone is backbiting of someone. First of all, you should stop him or her, whatever. Say, look, let's not talk about that person, he's not here. But if a person is keep on going, just leave. You have done your responsibility, you cannot force anyone to stop. So just leave that gathering. Instead of, if you're listening to it, if someone is listening and even though it's disliking it, but it's a part of it. So even listening to it, it is not permissible. So backbiting, whether we speak ill of a Muslim or a non-Muslim, is general. Allah has mentioned it. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that do not backbite. So it's general. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. I have some couple of questions. My questions are regarding Salatul Taqsir, the traveling Salah. When does it start? Is it when we leave our house, our town, or our country? So this is the first question. I will answer this question. If a person has the intention to travel 48 miles or more, right? Let's say a person is going to New York. So it's more than 48 miles. So the traveling will start from the city limits. Let's say we're in Chelmsford. So when a person leaves Chelmsford, safar starts. The traveling starts. Now you can make the qasr prayers. It does not start from the house. It starts from the city limits. And then the same thing when you come back, when you're traveling back, when you enter the city limits of Chelmsford, your safar ends. Number one. Also, does it matter if we are traveling by car or by airplane? No, I mean, again, it's if you leave your house and then you're leaving the city limits, so of course you're going to leave the city limits, you're going to go to the airport, or you're traveling by road in your car, whatever the city limits is, a half a mile, 1 mile, 2 miles away, whatever it is, once you leave it, your traveling starts. So what does that mean? It means that, let's say for example, someone is traveling out of the country. So from here we're going to the Boston airport, right? So we have left our city limits. So if we have to pray in the airplane, in the airport, let's say Isha, so we're going to pray Qasr. We're going to pray Tura. Additionally, at our destination, so once a person is traveling but reaches the destination of his travel, does Nafila prayer drop, and as well as Salatul Witr? If we reach our destination, we are musafir, let's say we are 15 days or less, we're somewhere in a place. If someone wants to do their sunan, that is fine, no problem, right? If they want to do it, right? Witr should be done as well. Even we are traveling with Isha, we have to do the witr as well. Witr is wajib. Okay. But if someone wants to leave out the sunan and nawafil, even though they are in the destination, that is fine. It is up to them. It is optional. But except for Fajr sunnah, because so much emphasized in the hadith, even in traveling, while we're in Safar, we have to pray Fajr, we should be praying the 2 rakat sunnah as well. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum assalam. I heard babies and children who pass away are under the care of Ibrahim alayhi salam until they are reunited with their parents. Is it true? Yes, it is true. I'll mention 2 hadiths. One is, this hadith is in Musnad Ahmad and Sahih Ibn Hibban. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the children of Muslims are in Jannah being taken care of by Ibrahim alayhi salam. So those children who die in a young age, meaning when they do not reach the bulugh, they do not reach the maturity, they do not become baligh, before that, to Ibrahim alayhi salam, their takers. There's another hadith in Musnad Ahmad, in Hakim and Bayhaqi, that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the children of the believers are on a mountain in Jannah. Ibrahim and Sarah alayhi salam will be taking care of them until they return them to their parents on the Day of Judgment. So these small children, as you know, you remember, I don't know if you have heard the hadith about the Mi'raj of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is mentioning about that, he met with the prophets on which? Heaven, right? So Ibrahim, he said in the hadith that I met Ibrahim alayhi salam while he was leaning on Baytul Ma'mur. So Baytul Ma'mur is the Kaaba for the Malaika, for the angels. So he's leaning on it, and there were so many kids around him. So those are the kids who passed away in a young age. So this is true what you are asking, that babies and children are being taken care there by Ibrahim alayhi salam and Sarah. That's it. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Allah